Hello, we're live with the Zombies.
Hiya, we're the Zombies. This is
Colin Blunstone, lead singer with the Zombies.
And I'm Rod Argent. We're going to be doing just 2 or 3 songs for you in an acoustic vein.
All right.
And I hope that we find it interesting, and I hope you find it interesting too. We're going to start with a song that you will know, actually. This is a song in E minor called Time of the Season.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy. Let me try with pleasured hands to take you in the sun to promised land, to show you everyone it's the time of the season for loving. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he take on any time to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly, tell you why I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving. What's your name? Who's your daddy? Is he rich like me? Has he take on any time to show you what you need to live? Tell it to me slowly, tell you why I really want to know. It's the time of the season for loving. It's the time of the season for loving. It's the time of the season for loving.
Watching is like, this is so beautiful, this is amazing, we love this. So
Oh, any good comments as well?
yeah, everyone's just so happy.
Oh, cool. That's lovely. Oh, well, it's really lovely to be doing this. And
Yes.
one quick thing to say before the
Yep.
next song, which is also in E minor. How strange. And that's the link between our early hit and a song we did on our new album, Still Got That Hunger, which came out late 2015. And I have to quickly tell you, that when we were on the American tour for this, we got a call from Billboard, And we were so knocked out because they said, we just had to phone and tell you that for the first time as 50 years as the Zombies, you're in the top 100 album sales chart. So we would love to do this song from the album Still Got That Hunger for You.
Yeah.
And this one is called Moving On.
I'm moving on like a ship sailing wind blown. Who can say where the rainbow may be found? Take my chance and I'll sail to tomorrow. April moon, can you tell me where I'm bound? I'm moving on from this place of confusion. It's goodbye to trouble I'm leaving behind. In my life, no more grief, no sorrow. Won't allow the darkness my life to define. I won't cry for the past, for I've refound my freedom at last. I won't shy from the strife. What doesn't kill me will fill me with life. And I'm moving on to my dreams of tomorrow. Thrilled to be wherever my soul may be bound. Who can tell where the journey may lead me? Who can say where the rainbow may be found? I won't cry for the past, for I've refound my freedom at last. I won't shy from the strife. What doesn't kill me will fill me with life. And I'm moving on to my dreams of tomorrow. Thrilled to be wherever my soul may be bound. Who can tell where the journey may lead me? Who can say where the rainbow may be found? I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Moving on, I'm moving on.
Well, thank you very much. And just to finish this off, shall we do She's Not There?
Is that an E minor?
No, it's an A minor, I'm afraid. So.
I was really getting into the groove. No one told me about her, the way she lied. No one told me about her, how many people cried. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. let me tell you about the way she looked, the way she acted, the color of her hair. Her voice was soft and cool, her eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there. Well, no one told me about her. What could I do? No one told me about her, though they all knew. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she looked, the way she acted, the color of her hair. Her voice was soft and cool, her eyes were clear and bright, but she's not there. But it's too late to say you're sorry. How would I know? Why should I care? Please don't bother trying to find her. She's not there. Well, let me tell you about the way she looked. Her eyes were clear.
Well, thank you.
That was beautiful. Everyone just was saying how wonderful and incredible that sounded. So you guys have a book you're in the process of releasing. Here, let's see if I can get closer. We're gonna move up here a little bit.
I have to tell you that we knew this, obviously we knew this was being put together, and we had a great hand in doing it, writing lyrics, handwriting all the lyrics from Odyssey and Oracle, plus stuff from the new album, plus many other anecdotes. And one thing we didn't know, our manager, our co-manager, Cindy De Silva, and also in conjunction with BMG, was putting this whole thing together. They've done the most fantastic job of it. It's got artwork in it from Viv White, who's Chris White's wife. Fantastic artist. I don't know if I can just... Oh, there's one here. That's a sample of it. And there's lots of photos from back in the day that I've never seen before, which is fantastic, actually. You know, I don't know what I'm turning over here, but the thing is, also, one thing we didn't realise they were doing, they were getting endorsements and quotes from people like Brian Wilson, for goodness sake, saying how blown away he was with the Zombies and how he loved their harmonies, which I think is just about, you know, the most spine-tingling thing to hear. From Graham Nash, from Tom Petty, wonderful forward from Tom Petty, from young bands like Cage the Elephant. Oh God, I can go on and on. Can you think of
Carlos Santana.
So if people want to get the book, you're doing a book release on this Thursday in New York at the Strand, or tomorrow, Wednesday.
We'll be signing it.
Wednesday at the Strand.
Yeah.
And I guess on your website, people can grab it. Amazon, all those good places.
Honestly, it's. I mean, BMG have just taken us over here, and it's so beautifully put together. I'm completely knocked out with it, actually. So anyway, there's the cover, a new cover designed by Terry Quirk, who did the original Odyssey and Oracle cover. Some wonderful artwork. I mean, you'd have to go through it. You'd have to pore over it really to see it.
Yeah.
From Viv White, but it's just so beautiful. So we're knocked out to have something of that quality, actually.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were asking questions about your upcoming tour.
Yeah.
Which you're going to be touring for till May, I believe, or the whole North America.
2 months. Yeah.
2 months.
Yes.
And I believe it's going to be done in 2 parts, correct? You're going to do a first part with some hits and then Odyssey and Oracle right after?
That's right. We're going to play Odyssey and Oracle from beginning to end, all 12 tracks. Every note that's on that album we will be playing. It's I think at some points there's sort of 16 people on stage. It's going to be a big sound and very, very exciting.
But all the original members that are surviving will be joining us for that. And it will be what we think of as our current band that did the new album on stage as well. Because when we were using more multi-track technology than we were used to when we did Odyssey and Oracle. And because of that, we were using it to its maximum. So we were overdubbing extra vocals. I was overdubbing Mellotron keyboards as well as my original piano. So we've got Darian Sahanaja from the Brian Wilson Band to do the Mellotron parts. And Darian knows the parts better than I do. I mean, he's such a fan of Odyssey and Oracle, which is really great. And he's a lovely, lovely person. It's a very happy band of travellers, I have to tell you. Yeah. Because the band, the original band, have always got on great together. To be sentimentally joined with them just for this tour again is smashing in itself. Yeah. But the first half of the evening will be done by the current band with some new tracks, with some very old Zombies tracks, but not Odyssey and Oracle tracks. In the second half, as Colin so rightly said, we'll be doing it not only from start to finish without stopping. As he said, every note will be replicated, and we've even got a Victorian pump organ from the period of the First World War to back Chris White's spine-tingling song Butcher's Tale, which was written because his uncle was killed in the Battle of the Somme, and that's where he wrote that song from. So we've done it absolutely as accurately as possible because the idea is this year is the 50th anniversary, and we don't want to spend our whole lives looking backwards. We never have done. But we're going to celebrate it for this year, and we're going to do it all over the States. We're going to do it in Canada. We're going to do it in Europe, for European festivals. We're going to do it in the UK. And then after this year, for live, as far as the live performance of Odyssey from start to finish in this way is concerned, that's it. This will be the last chance for anybody to see it.
Wow. Well, it's an amazing excuse to celebrate such an incredible album. And did I read, I think in one of our interviews, that when you were recording that album, did you not use John Lennon's Mellotron?
We did, because we were in Studio 3 in Abbey Road, and the Beatles had just left, having recorded Sgt. Pepper, and we realised that John Lennon had left his Mellotron behind, and rather cheekily, we used it, and I mean, it's pretty much on every track. Yeah. So it would have been a completely different album if John Lennon hadn't left his Mellotron behind. So it's a bit of good fortune. Yeah, thanks, John. It was a bit of good fortune.
That's incredible. Did you connect with him at some point and let him know that his Mellotron was on the album?
No, I've never met John. I don't think any of us have ever met John Lennon. But I was speaking to Chris White, our original bass player, last night, and I said, Chris, I remember you telling me a story that someone very well connected in the business said to you, I have to tell you that John Lennon said he really wished he could produce you. I mean, obviously before he died. Yeah. And I said, where did that come from? He said, God, it's so long ago, I can't remember now. He said, but it was someone, some head of A&R in one of the major record companies. So we presume that that's the true story. So there's a vague link there, Yeah. And so I hope that spiritually he was glad that we used his Mellotron.
That's incredible. So in terms of coming together with the tour, is there any, getting everyone together, the rehearsals? I'm sure that was...
Oh, yeah. We're going to have 3 days rehearsals starting on Tuesday. So it's going to be very interesting because the original Zombies play together very rarely. Yeah. The last time we toured was in 1967. But we have done this show a few times. The last time was a few years ago. So I'm quite interested to see what it sounds like. But by the time showtime comes on Friday, it'll sound great.
Of course. You guys are old pros.
Yeah.
Is there any, in the making of the album, was there any interesting stories, things that happened aside from using John Lennon's
about making the album?
Yeah.
Well, it was all done very quickly because we really wanted to produce an album ourselves, because Chris and I, who were the two writers in the band, were very frustrated about how our songs were being projected in the previous few singles. And we wanted to at least have a go at recording songs in the way that we heard them, with the harmonies in the right perspective, with the rhythm section sounding in the balance that we felt it should be. And we did that. And we were really knocked out with how we did it, but we had almost no money. We went to CBS and they said, well, yeah, okay, but we'll give you £1,000, which even in those days was not very much money, especially at Abbey Road prices, really. So we had to do what we've always done, we had to get ourselves incredibly well prepared and rehearsed. So we went in there knowing from first to last note what we were doing. But because we had the extra tracks, because the Beatles had found a way of increasing the tracks, they'd heard Brian Wilson do Pet Sounds with an 8-track. There were no 8 tracks in the UK, but they'd made the boffins at EMI at Abbey Road figure out a way where we could get access to more tracks.
Oh, wow.
And so we jumped on that technology as well. So again, thank you, Beatles. But it meant that after we'd laid something down, typically in a couple of hours, suddenly an extra harmony would, you know, we just hear it in the studio. And so maybe I would race in and just put an extra harmony on, or I heard an extra, you know, mellotron sound or something, or one of the guys said, why don't we, you know, put a tom on this or something. So we had the ability to be spontaneous as well as fantastically prepared as well. We were working within the limits of what we could afford at the time,
Right.
Which is not always a bad thing, you know.
No, not at all. Because could you imagine if you had more money to like bring in symphonies and orchestras and all that?
It
like,
would have been much more ordinary in the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
But one of the things, because we were under such time constraints, the last track that we recorded was Time of the Season. It was actually finished in the morning before the afternoon session. And I was struggling with the phrasing. This song had just been written, and I could see the clock ticking. I knew our money was running out. The red light was, the recording light was on, getting more and more tense. And Rob was in the control room trying to coach me through it.
In a very reasonable way.
In a very reasonable way, but I was starting to panic. And so the conversation went a little bit like, listen, if you're so clever, if you know it so well, you come in here and you sing it. And Rod retorted. And remember that all the people from Abbey Road were all around, and all the band. This is not a private conversation with us. And Rod was saying, you're the lead singer. You stand there till you get it right. And it always intrigues me that we were sort of figuratively speaking around one another's throats, whilst I was singing, it's the time of the season for loving. And we were practically killing one another. But we got it done, and I'm really glad I did stand there and finish it, because it sold close on to 2 million copies. So
incredible song.
I've often thought I should go into the studio not knowing a song, not really liking a song, and argue with the producer, and then maybe we get another 2 million single. I don't know. Maybe it's a way.
Well, we can do our best.
We do our best, yeah.
Someone asked, and I'm not familiar with this, they asked if you found out about 2 bands that were impersonating the Zombies, and what your thoughts were on that.
Absolutely. Well, one band that we only found out about 2 years ago, because you have to remember when Time of the Season came out, it became #1. Certainly #1 in Cashbox, and I think Billboard, it was maybe #2 or 3. But we weren't together, so to fill the void, several fake zombies went out there.
Oh.
And 2 years ago, there was an article where 2 of the guys from ZZ Top, Frank Beard and Dusty, actually admitted that they were the fake zombies.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
But you know, it started with a Z, so we said when we finish, we'll form a ZZ Top tribute.
That would be really funny,
so.
actually. I think you guys should both open for each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
the fake
then
zombies and the fake
there'd be no
ZZ Top.
arguments if we were both openers, would there?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about or share about the upcoming tour, the book, anything like that?
Well, only to say that, you know, this is not a retrogressive picking over the pieces, you know, raking over the embers tour, because we've never done that. This is an enthusiastic celebration, and the first half with the current band is because the only reason we're out there doing it is because we get just as energized and excited on stage as we were when we were 18 years old, and to produce, you know, new material as well. So I don't think there are that many bands of our vintage out there, you know, doing a similar thing at the moment. So if people haven't seen us and they're wondering about it, you know, do come along and share the joy.
Yeah, of course. Well, thank you all so much for your time. That was a really beautiful performance. And if anyone's just tuning in, you could obviously see the full thing on our site.